When you walk up to a stranger to start off a sales conversation, what is the first thing you say? If you say something close to this, "Hi, I am John and I work with XYZ organization," I need you to stop doing that right now, today, because that sentence, as innocent as it sounds, is the reason strangers keep saying no to you. In this video, I will show you exactly how that happens, and I will also explain to you 3 things you need to master if you want more strangers to say yes to you. Not once, not twice, but consistently. Before I teach you the 3 things you need to master if you want more strangers to say yes to you, let me explain something about the human brain that changed how I approach every sales conversation I've ever had. The human brain is defensive by design. The moment a stranger walks up to you, especially one whom you can tell has an agenda, your brain doesn't say, "Oh, great, let's hear what he has to say." Your brain goes, "Wait, who is this? What does he want? Should I be worried?" And within seconds, even before you ever finish your sentence, that person's brain has started getting up reasons they should say no. Now, here is the point that most salespeople miss. The human brain has 2 states, a defensive state and an open state. When someone's brain is in its defensive state, they are logical, they are calculating, they are looking for reasons to reject you. When their brain is in its open state, they are curious, they are emotional, they are engaged. Your job in any sales conversation is to get your prospect brain from its defensive state to its open state before you mention what you sell. And the way to do that is what we are talking about in this video today. To get more strangers to say yes to you, there are 3 things that the best salespeople that I have studied and ever worked with have all mastered. 1, they know who to talk. 2, they know how to talk to them. 3, they know when to stop. These things may sound simple, but most salespeople are either skipping 1, rushing through 2, or completely ignoring the third. Let me break each one of them down for you. 1, know who to talk to. This is where most salespeople believe silently. When I was running outreach at FIDE's workflow, selling AI-powered workflow automation platform, one of the first lessons that hit me hard is this: your energy is not infinite. Your time is not infinite. Every minute you spend on the wrong prospect is the minute your competitor spends on the right prospect. Here is the mistake I see constantly, including myself early on. Many salespeople approach sales like it is a number game. Talk to enough people and eventually someone says yes. Do not get me wrong. Volume has its place in sales. But while volume has its place in sales, talking to everyone is one of the fastest ways to get burnt out, get rejected repeatedly, and start doubting your ability to sell. Here is the secret. The best salespeople are not talking to everyone. They are talking to the right people. So, how do you know who the right people are? You look out for 3 signals. First, do they have the problem your product or service solves? Not the general problem, their specific problem. For instance, if you are selling a logistic management tool, you are not looking for any logistic company. Instead, you are looking for a logistic company whose team is losing hours every week to manual processes, email chains, and approval bottlenecks. Second, do they have a reason to act? Someone can have a problem and still not ready to buy. What you should be looking out for are buying signals. Are they hiring? Are they running ads? Did they recently expand? Did they post about a challenge they are facing? These signals tell you that the problem is active and that the budget exists. Third, Can you reach them? Not just physically. Can you reach them in a way that makes sense? Do you have a warm connection, a relevant context, something that gives you a reason to show up in their world? When all these three signals are present, that is your person. That is who you should spend your energy and time. Everyone else goes to a waiting list. Two, know how to talk to them. This is where sales conversations are won or lost before any pitch is ever made. Let me explain something to you with a bit of contrast. Imagine I walk up to you in a hallway. You have had a very busy day. You don't know me. And I say, "Hi, I am John, and I work with a company that helps businesses to automate their workflows." Do you have a minute? What happens to your brain? It goes into a defensive state. Immediately, you are already calculating how to end the conversation politely. You might even glance at your phone. Now, imagine instead that I walked up to you and say something like this. "Hey, I saw you just got promoted. Congratulations. That must have been a long time coming." What happens in your brain? A different reaction entirely. Your guard drops. You smile. You are suddenly curious about where this is going. You feel seen. That is the difference between a conversation that goes somewhere and one that dies in the first 15 seconds. And the principle underneath this is something I call lead with curiosity, sustain with familiarity, and close with relevance. Lead with curiosity simply means your opening has nothing to do with what you sell. It has everything to do with your prospect. Something they did, something they achieved, something that signals that you actually paid attention. Sustain with familiarity simply means as the conversation continues, you keep it about their world, their experiences, their challenges. You are not steering the conversation towards your product or services. You are simply deepening the connection. Close with relevance simply means when the moment comes and you will feel it, you connect what you are building to something that genuinely matters to them. Here is something to always remember. You may not get to the relevant phase in the first conversation. That is completely fine. In sales, most deals do not start and end on the same day. Some take days, others weeks. One of my longest running conversations before it closed took several months of consistent and genuine engagement. The goal of the conversation is not to close. It is to open. 3. Know when to stop talking. This might be the most counterintuitive of all three because most people think that selling means talking, explaining, presenting, convincing. Unfortunately, it is not. Here is the rule I live by in every sales conversation. The prospect talks 80% of the time. I talk 20%. In the 20% that I talk, I am doing a lot of work. I am asking questions that help the prospect articulate what is actually bothering them. Not surface level thing. The real cost of the problem. I have been in a discovery conversation with a logistic operations director who initially described their challenge as just workflow issue. By the time we finished talking, they had calculated for themselves that their team was losing 12 hours per week per person on manual follow-ups. That number did not come from me. It came from them. And once they had said it out loud, the conversation shifted completely. That is what your 20% is for. You are helping them see what they could not see clearly before you showed up. Now, in the 80% when they are talking, you are not resting. You are working harder than ever. You are listening for the words they use to describe their challenges. because those words are gold. They tell you exactly how to frame your solution back to them. You are also listening to what they are not saying. The frustration underneath the calm voice, the urgency they are trying to hide, the decision maker they have not mentioned yet. You are learning about them as a person, what matters to them beyond business. Because people do not just buy from companies and individuals, they buy from people whom they feel understood. And the moment you talk too much, you take back the space they need to sell themselves. And yes, prospects sell themselves. This is what happens when you do sales conversation right. Let me bring all these together. Getting strangers to say yes to you has almost nothing to do with how good your pitch is. It has everything to do with whether you are talking to the right person. Starting the conversation in a way that opens their brain and not close it. And then creating enough space for them to talk themselves into trusting you. I have used every one of these strategies in real conversations. At Biggest Workflow, running outreach for a B2B SaaS product, sitting across from founders, operations leads, and CFOs. And the conversations that closed were not the ones where I came in loudest. They were the ones where I came in most prepared and most patient. Know who to talk to, know how to talk to them, and know when to stop talking. Master these three strategies, and strangers will stop feeling like strangers. If this video gave you one thing to think about differently before your next sales conversation, I want you to do two things. First, drop a comment below. Tell me the specific part that hit you. Was it the brain state, the 80-20, the curiosity opener? Tell me, I read everything and I respond. Second, subscribe to this channel. I am building a series on everything I know about sales, from prospecting to closing, from outreach to handling the toughest objection. Every video will be practical. Every video will be easy to understand. No flaw. And if you want to go deeper right now, read the description. If you are a founder, an agency, or a small business owner who needs help building a system that gets strangers to say yes to you consistently, reach out, let's work together. I only work with a small number of people, so I can give it all the attention it deserves. See you the next one. Bye.